Hello everyone. It's a new term, a new academic calendar year. So this is to encourage parents, students to put in their best this time around, to give their all in the academic, whether you've done well in the previous section or not. You don't have to give up. You just need to put in extra effort. That's the only thing you need. The extra effort is what actually makes the difference, and the consistency that you put into. If you're a student that you struggle with writing your notes, you need to write your notes so that you can have something to fall back on to read when it's time for assessment, when it's time for examination. If you are the type that wait, okay, maybe just few days to exam or any assessment to read, you need to have a reading timetable whereby you can read as often as you can. If it's maybe for 30 minutes, an hour per day, it will go a long way before the time of assessment. So all of these efforts will also definitely help you to do better in this new academic calendar. If you're a student that you need moral support, you need extra lesson teachers and all of that to help you, or friends, don't be shy. Ask for help. It costs more if you don't ask for help. Even scripture says that ask and it shall be given unto you. So if you do not ask for help, nobody will know your struggles, nobody will know what you need. So because they are not mind readers, so it is very important that you can ask your friend, you can tell your parents if they need to hire someone to help you, if they need to tell your older siblings to help and put you through. So it's very important that you ask for help. And then you need to have a personal reading timetable. You don't want to repeat the same thing, that's the same approach that you've been using in the previous section, and expect a better result this time around. So if you want a better result, you need to do a different thing. So one of the things that you can do better to do excel in your studies this time around or this next section is: one, you need to have a personal reading timetable. Two, you need to be very consistent. Consistency is key. If you read 30 minutes every day before the time for assessments such as a midterm and examination, you've read virtually half of your notebook. So when you are reading them and reading them again, it's just like a recap. It will refresh your memory. But if you have not read them, then that's where the struggle comes. Then you want to work under pressure, you eventually cram, and cramming is not a good method of studying. So it's important that you start preparing on time so that you can do well. Then the other thing you need to do is that you need to reduce the amount of time you spend on the screen. The screen could be the television at home, it could be your phone, it could be your gadgets. So if you want to excel as a student, you need to limit the amount of time you spend on the screen. Except if you are doing research. Even if you are doing research, you don't spend the whole day researching or surfing through the internet. So it's important that you also consult your textbook. And then it's also important that parents get their kids textbook for maths, English, and other course subject that your child is offering. It's important that they have textbook. So this will also reduce the amount of time that they have to spend on their gadget, because when they are on their gadget, they once they are on their gadget, they deviate, they sometimes check the internet for other things, and before you know, they are distracted, and then they start surfing the internet for other information that is not even related to what actually brought them to use the gadget in the first place. So it's important that as parents we also get our kids the necessary textbook that they need, so that they can have something to consult with when they need to, especially for their assignment or for their assessment or for anything that they might need it for. Then for students that we know as parents, your word, you know them better. So if your child, so as parents, we know you know your child better than anyone else. So if you know that your child is not actually doing well, he still struggles in one subject or the other, it's important to start early to get a tutor that can coach him or her, so that it's not when you see the child's results during the midterm test or during the exam, I start you start panicking, and then you start wondering, what do you want to do, how do you want to go, because their performance in first term is very important. Second term, third term, it's cumulative, so it's very important that they also excel in this first term that they are, so that by the time it gets to third term and it will be divided and all of that, they would still have a very good result. All right. Thank you, and see you in my next video. And have an amazing time.